Hi, I'm at Russo's Power Equipment, and we're here for an open house, and we're gonna go talk to some reps and stuff like that and get information from them. But I just wanted you to see this thing here. Oh, yeah, 144 inches. Yeah, it's a really nice mower. Someday you'll be mine, maybe in like 30 years when you're old. That's about the only time I pick them up. But let's go inside and we'll talk to some people. I'm over here with Scott, and we're with Kohler, correct?
Meat-art engine, but we're a Kohler Engine distributor, yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, Scott actually has a new product for Kohler engines. It is a 300-hour oil change.
Absolutely, yep. So it's a 10W50 fully synthetic oil made by AMSOIL. It allows for you to do your oil change intervals every 300 hours as opposed to every 100 hours. So, for example, if you're running every 50 hours and you have to change your oil every 2 weeks, let's say this allows you to do it every 6 weeks. So less downtime. Because it is a fully synthetic oil, it runs a little bit cooler so that it'll prolong the life
Thank
of
you all
the
for being here at the open house.
And that will work on like older Kohler engines as well.
Absolutely.
So if I have over 1,000 hours on my Kohler engine, it's going to be just as effective.
Absolutely. You can
a
start
brand new
this out
engine.
on a brand new engine, or you can have an engine that you've got 1,500, 2,000 hours on, and you can switch over from every 100 hours to every 300 hours.
And it just has to deal mostly with the synthetic oil.
Correct. It's with the synthetic oil. It's it's how it's made. The oil. You do have to run the oil and the filter, so that's why it's sold in a kit. And then if you need to buy the oil additionally, you can get the oil separate, by quart per top.
And if I'm buying a new engine, this won't void at least for Kohler, it won't void the
Will not
warranty?
void the warranty. It's part of the warranty. It's part of Kohler's branding.
Okay. Well, Scott, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I wanted to put in a few thoughts on this Kohler product, and the reason why is this. It seems like really outrageous claims. 300-hour oil changes is pretty crazy. One thing I also checked up on was what's the time limit for this particular product, and they because it's usually like 100 hours or 3 months or something like that, or if you deal with a car, it's like every 3,000 miles or 3 months. So how long would it last if you're not even using the mower very frequently? And they actually said it's 12 months is what they stated as being able to just sit in the mower before you have to change it out. And the reason why I asked that particular question was I wanted to see is this really just a pro product? Is this a product that is just going to be if you use 300 hours on a machine, or is this going to be a product that for you guys that are collectors of mowers and flippers of mowers, and I know if you probably already have a collection too, will this be beneficial to you? And the question is, honestly, it's probably not a huge difference from conventional oil with that 12-month span, because you're probably not going to put 300 hours on your Kohler mower, whether you got a Toro or whatever with a Kohler engine in it, than you would, traditionally. And one thing what it is basically this is double the amount of cost of a typical oil change. It is really marketed to pros because there's a cost savings in it for putting 300 hours on your oil changes. Basically, this puts in 3 oil changes for every one oil change. So, that said, there's a huge cost effectiveness. It's about double the price of your standard oil and filter change, and it comes with oil and filter. So there's a huge cost savings if you're putting 300 hours. Now, if you are a collector and you are set to, do your oil changes twice a year, this is going to cost you twice as much to do one oil change, but you only have to do that one oil change every 12 months. So the value in that would be it saves you some time. If you're religiously doing the spring and the fall oil changes in your mower, this way will make it just so you only have to do it once in the spring. So it'll cost you pretty much the same as doing 2 oil changes, but you only have to do 1 oil change a year, so it'll save you time. And let's face it, this could be a big benefit because it's not going to cost you anymore, and it just frees up a lot more time for you. So this is something that instead of doing those 2 oil changes in the spring and the fall, it'll definitely benefit you in that respect, because now you have a little bit more time to work on other projects, and you don't have, and the stress of having that one extra project to do is paramount too. Oh, you have that laundry list and you're like, oh, I gotta change the oil. I'm like, now you don't have that line item on your list of things to do. So that project that you were going to sell because you just didn't have time for, well, guess what? Now maybe you can make some time for it by going into this process, because you get 12 months out of a single oil change then. And again, it probably won't, if you're doing oil changes properly, it's not going to add to, it's not going to be an added value other than your time. You probably, if the guys that are flipping mowers or reselling mowers, that kind of thing, this is probably not a huge value to you guys. And the reason why is because it's going to cost you twice as much, and then you're just going to get rid of the mower. To be honest with you, I've ran into mowers that people have put oil in when they first bought it, and they've never done anything to it since. So as far as that is concerned too, even if you're one of those people that just kind of puts oil in mowers and let it sit, this might be a really good value for you as well, to just start your mower off with this stuff, because you're never going to touch it anyways. This stuff, they were saying these estimates are actually pretty conservative that Kohlers are making for the 300 hours. They will pull this oil out of a mower after 300 hours and test it, and the viscosities, the 10W50 viscosities, are still there. So that's actually kind of pretty impressive. One of the other things too to touch on is you have to use the filter with this oil. You can't, so basically you have to use it in a Kohler engine. You can't throw it in your Briggs & Stratton and put a different filter on it, because part of what they did was formulate the oil so that it passes through the filter properly. They had to deal with fiber elements and things like that. You're dealing with a thicker oil, and you're dealing with a filter that's going to be on the machine longer than typical. I mean, usually you change your filter every 100 hours. This will be on the machine for 300 hours, so it has to be able to collect more gunk, and it has to be able to pass through thicker oil, because it's 10W50 as opposed to 10W30. So that being said, this is pretty much, you have to use it on a Kohler engine. You can't use it on a Briggs & Stratton or anything, because you have to use that filter. So unless AMSOIL or Kohler decides that they're going to go into the market of producing filters for other manufacturers, this is not going to be good for any engine but a Kohler engine. However, I'm sure a lot of you guys have Kohler engines. They're great engines, and they last a very long time. American company. It holds up to very good. Now, this is the other thing to note, is that none of this oil is not to be used in an automotive product. It is strictly for a air-cooled engine, particularly a Kohler engine, because of the filter. But if you put it in a car, it's gonna really raise havoc and stuff with all the emissions testing, all the emissions stuff in the vehicle. So you can't really use it in a car. But it was formulated especially for air-cooled engines. If you have a lot of idle time, which with the gas prices you probably don't want to have anyways, but if you have a lot of long hours, high loads, and high RPMs, this is a very good oil. They're also saying it operates in harsh and dirty, dusty environments very well. You have long storage periods. Like I said, you can have up to 12 months of this with this. One of the things too that they say is you could see a reduction in oil consumption. So if you have an older engine that consumes oil, this is going to consume less oil. Based on just the weights alone, how it's a 10W50 oil, I highly believe that, because a thicker oil is not going to be able to get through the little crevices and everything to burn as much. But that is definitely a benefit, that you're using less oil in consumption if you have an engine burner or an oil burning engine. So that Like I said, I believe that claim is pretty solid. The only way that I can tell you, because this is a fairly new product, it's only been out for like 7 or 8 months. So what I can tell you, the only way to really know for sure is to try it yourself and see if you like it. That's about the only thing. Like I said, it is going to cost you about twice as much as your typical oil change, but you shouldn't have to do it at least, twice as long. And if you're one of those people that just kind of dump oil in your mower when if you're buying a brand new mower, this will work in new mowers, old mowers, any Kohler engine basically. If you're one of those guys that get a new mower, you put oil in and you just never touch the oil, this probably is a very good product for you. It'll probably will extend the engine life to, instead of 7 years, to about 8. But you gotta change your oil, guys. Just let's face it, you gotta change your oil. So that being said, I do plan to try this product. I have a couple I got a couple Toro wheel horses with Kohler engines in them. I'm going to at least throw it in one of them, maybe both of them. I haven't decided if I'm going to do both, but I think this is going to be a valuable thing. I have Big Red and I have Katniss. Yeah, I went and I named the mower, guys. No help from you. I named the mower. I named it Katniss because it was on fire before I got it. Get it? Fire, Katniss. If you're not into Hunger Games, you probably won't get it. But I decided to name it Katniss. That's the hydro wheel horse. And I'll probably try it in that one. Only because I don't plan to do anything. I haven't really quite figured out what to do with Big Red now that I got Katniss. But I really like the hydro idea for a just general purpose mower. And they both have Kohler engines. Katniss has a little bit bigger of a one. Basically, I've been using them as tow machines, so they're not getting a lot of hours on them or anything like that, but they are getting, decent kind of things as I'm towing my trailer out of the backyard over the grass to get it back into the driveway to put on the truck and things like that. But I still have some work I got to take care of with the steering on that one. So, just keeping you updated on my equipment. I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys and tell you what I thought about this product. I think it's actually seems to be an amazing product. It's been out for 8 months. We haven't heard of any kind of catastrophic issues with it. So it has had some time on the market. It's been marketed for pros. So these are guys that are putting 300 hours on a mower. Typically it's not uncommon to put 100 hours in 2 weeks on a professional mower if you're using it quite frequently. And you're doing oil changes every 2 weeks. This extends it to every 6 weeks. And I'm going to tell you, a pro is going to use that. It's less downtime on the mower because it's not in the shop getting an oil change. It's better value because you're only paying for 2 oil changes instead of 3. And so this is definitely a product that pros I can guarantee you have sought and decided to try and use. And I have not heard any catastrophic problems coming out of engines. But then again, you have residential people that put on the oil in their mowers and then never change them again, and they last 7, 8, 9, 10 years with the original oil in them. So but this is product. I mean, the thing is that I will tell you that so many of these synthetics, and this is a full synthetic, I can believe these claims with what they're doing with synthetic oils. The hope is that because this is a synthetic oil, not an actual oil, as the gas prices are raising, so our oil price is going to raise. And hopefully that the price of this won't go up too much because it's a synthetic as opposed to an actual oil that's coming out of a barrel. So there's hopefully that it actually will, as the price of oil goes up, this will stay the same. So it'll start evening out and making more sense to do this as opposed to regular standard oil. That's my hope, at least. Only time will tell on that one. But we're going to see. I mean, I plan to try it. I'm going to go probably buy some of this stuff. It's, the 300 oil change by Kohler. Lance Oil, I believe, developed it with Ann's Oil developed this with Kohler. And it just seems, it's one of those things that seem too good to be true, so you're probably like, it probably is. But Kohler is really backing this up. I mean, they're not. I don't see anything dealing with warranties or anything like that, but they're saying you can put it in new engines that have warranties. So obviously they are very confident in this product. And they're backing that up, at least with the new engine warranties for Kohler, if you use this particular product. And as a matter of fact, they're beginning to recommend this stuff for those engines. So, that being said, I would say if you have a Kohler engine, maybe give it a try. Like I said, it's only about twice as much as a standard oil change. It comes with, there's 3 kits. There's a 1 quart, a 2 quart, and a 3 quart. And each kit comes with a filter. So if you got a heavy oil burner, you might want to go up on a kit. So if it only uses 1 quart, maybe get the 2 quart. But ultimately, you know, when you drain your oil, you're not going to put a full quart back in if it's only a 1 quart hold. And you'll still have a little bit of extra to dump in there as things burn off, because probably it's that old oil that's going to burn off, not the new oil. That's just my quick thoughts on this product. I hope you guys try it out. I plan to try it out, and just let's see if we can actually, if it holds up to, you know, as a community, we can find out if this holds up to what claims Kohler's making. So, for those of you guys with the Kohler engines, give this a try. The Kohler Pro 300-hour oil change. Worst case scenario, even if you don't put 300 hours on, you only have to change your oil once a year, even if you're using it year-round. So, in my opinion, just not having to deal with the oil. I mean, this is one of the other things, too, because you're doing less frequently oil changes. You have less oil waste because of that. So, that actually is also another benefit to it. And, you know, I don't know, I have jugs of oil sitting around my garage just waiting to be taken in to be recycled. So, that being said, I would give this stuff a try. And like I said, don't put it in your car because it's supposed to really raise havoc with your emission systems. Maybe some YouTuber might. I could see some of the YouTubers out there that deal with cars actually trying that and seeing what happens to the vehicle. But I don't do that. This is a lawnmower product, and I pretty much deal primarily with lawnmowers. I'm not going to put this in my truck when they say it's going to raise havoc with the emission systems. Gas is too expensive to deal with having to fix emission systems to keep it down. So, that said, I do recommend this for a Kohler engine, and just to give it a try, even if you're not 100% on it, give it a try. Let's see, you know, how it does. Maybe it will make your engine run better. Maybe it will burn less oil. Maybe this is the solution you've been looking for all your oil issues. Maybe you put it on over 300 hours on your mower, your tractor, or whatever in a season. This is the perfect fix for that, because you don't have to change your oil as frequently. Yeah, so I am really kind of impressed with this product. So I actually, right now, at this moment in time, would recommend it, and I have not heard anything really bad that this is destroying mowers and destroying mower engines. So that said, well, let's finish up the rest of this video.
I only got one to talk to me. It's okay. I did talk to a few of the other reps, and they gave me contacts to contact, so hopefully we can get some other information from them. I know one of them sending me samples of products so that we can hopefully test that out and see what they're like. So I don't want to tell you too much because I want to make sure that things go through, I guess you can say, before I say too much. But ultimately, I mean, that's still some pretty cool idea of lowering your maintenance schedule. That's one of the biggest issues, I think, with gas-powered equipment when you start comparing it to battery-powered stuff is the maintenance factors. It's still more maintenance than a battery-powered, but it definitely takes a lot off of your maintenance. So if you have a Kohler engine, you might want to check that out. So, yeah, but overall, it was a pretty fun day. They bought me lunch. I got to see a lot of other cool products, and I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to bring those to you soon. So we'll see about things and get things worked out. All right, until next time.
I got a challenge for all you YouTubers out there. All you mow guys that have your YouTube channels, and even those that might not even be mow guys that have YouTube channels, I challenge you. If you have a Kohler engine, I'm going to challenge you to the Kohler Pro 300-hour oil change kit challenge. That's right, give it a try. Make a YouTube of you putting it in your mower. Tag me in it at This Old Relic. And I want to see how many of you actually use this Kohler Pro 300-hour oil change kits. I was looking online. It looks like it is available over at Tractor Supply. But you can go online, see whatever retail. Maybe it's over at your favorite retailer. But I want to challenge you to use this. I want to see who's using it. I want to get everybody's input. I want to know how is this stuff good or not? What do you think? What are your thoughts of it after getting the kit and seeing how thick it is and things like that? So I want to see. I'm challenging you. Do a video of you doing a Kohler Pro 300-hour oil change kit in your mower, your Kohler Engine mower. So actually, I also want to see your mower. So tag me if you take on the challenge. I want to know.